Queens, and welcome to Believe in Yourself Tuesday. I'm your host, Lakina Folks. Today's guest is the epitome of the notion of believing in yourself. His list of accomplishments includes 12-time best-selling author and being the recipient of President Barack Obama's Service Award. But like most people who achieve greatness, it doesn't come without a powerful testimony. And if you don't already know Dr. Eddie Khanna, then let me introduce you to him right after this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eddie Khanna, for joining me on today on Believe in Yourself. I'm so excited to have you here.
It's an honor. It's an honor to share with you on the show. So we all believing in ourselves and taking it to the next level.
Yes, yes. So before I get started, I just want to talk about a few of your accomplishments and let our audience know. So you are an author, 12 best-selling books. You've been featured on BET, CBS, Ebony, The Steve Harvey Show, and The Huffington Post, and that's just to name a few. You were also a speaker for the Empowerment Conference with Bishop T.D. Jakes at MegaFest. That's amazing. You're the recipient of the President Barack Obama's Volunteer Service Award, and you're recognized as one of the top 35 millennial influencers in America. Wow, and the list goes on and on and on. That's just naming a few. So we have Dr. Eddie Khanna here. So it's a pleasure. You've got so many accomplishments. So congratulations to all of this.
I appreciate it. And, you know, I didn't always believe in myself as you talk about the show. But, you know, through sheer hard work, determination, God's grace, and just recognize that you can overcome. You can grow through what you go through. It's a blessing.
Wow, I like that. You can grow through what you go through.
That's right.
I like that. So have you ever thought you would have all these accomplishments at such a young age?
No. You know, everything I'm doing now is what I never even ventured out to do.
Wow.
You know, I either wanted to be an athlete or be an architect, something of that nature, right? But I guess I'm building something differently. Yeah. And building people as I go along too. So, you know, life is interesting. You know, you think about your own path and you think you're going to chart your course for your purpose. But God has a different direction oftentimes for our own lives that we didn't even see for ourselves. Yes,
he does. Yes, he does. So many of us we've heard of your testimony of you overcoming the fight with cancer, and by you fighting that disease, have that impacted how you speak to people and in your engagements?
Without a doubt. I mean, there's always an opportunity for me to interweave that story in anything that I do. 2021 marks 21 years of me being cancer-free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to not look like what I've been through and recognize, you know, your test of testimony, your misery is ministry, your mess a message, your stumbling block is a stepping stone.
Wow.
God uses your setback as a setup for your greatest comeback, uses your tragedy as strategy, you know, to move to the next level. And went through chemotherapy, radiation. My own biological father never visited me one day in the hospital, but, you know, a praying mama.
Yes.
And believing in myself, but also believing that God could heal me, I found the can in cancer.
Wow.
And that's a blessing. You know, if we had the color purple on these screens in here, I tell y'all, just like Sophia, all my life I had to fight.
Right.
You know, so fighting through the storm and the rain and embodying that aspect of, yes, you may be knocked down, but a knockdown is not a knockout unless you stay down. Getting back up again, as Muhammad Ali said, the canvas is no place for a champion.
Wow.
So knocked down 7 times, stand up 8. But the thing is, before even you were first knocked down, you were always standing.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So great strength, and just shows the power of prayers, God, and belief, and you were able to overcome.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and a blessing that you're here today with us.
Oh yeah, it's a blessing for sure.
So, have you ever dealt with survivor's guilt, knowing that so many other cancer victims pass away? Have you ever felt that way before?
Without a doubt, and it still hits home today. You know, I remember even being in the cancer center, the cancer ward as a kid, and when you stop seeing other kids that you were seeing, you know why, because they passed on. You know, my best friend that I ever had died of cancer at the age, when I was 7. We were both 7 years of age.
Wow.
And I found myself fighting a similar disease years later after his death. I lived, he didn't. And oftentimes you ask the question, why? Why me? I'm no better than he was.
Right.
When I think about my aunt who died of cancer, just friends of mine who have passed, and you know, I'm blessed to live through dying places.
Yes.
It's a humbling thing. It touches your heart with that, but it keeps you in a place of caring for, making Matthew 25 come alive, caring for the least, the last, the lost, the left out, the overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented. So it's a clarion call to do more, to help other people, but also to do more with your life.
Yeah.
You know, to understand that time is not, time is filled with swift transition.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that you have to use the time that you have. And Dr. King's most empowering quote, he said, the most persistent, urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And so I think to live by that is my MO.
Yeah. And you're helping so many people, whether it's business, ministry, you know, so you're definitely helping people. And your story and testimony, I know that helps other people, whether it's cancer or something else, say, hey, he persevered, so can I.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're a 12-time best-selling author.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So that means every book you ever put out is going to be bestseller.
Yeah, that's a blessing. I've worked hard putting the pen to the paper, but that's awesome.
And so you have many books on relationships. Okay. Now, why relationships?
You know, I think for me, relationships are the glue. It's the gorilla glue, so to speak.
Okay.
to really life as we know it, and a lot of times we have to get unstuck from people who we're stuck to that aren't getting good for us. I grew up in a divorced household, and so I internalized what I saw, you know, in the aspect of the dynamic between my mother and my father. I internalized much of the dynamic of living vicariously through other people's relationships and seeing those that were good, those that were bad, those that were ugly as well. So I just have I've always been a people person, so to speak, from even living in Jamaica and seeing how people live their lives, their certain ways, and all the traveling around the country. And I just see that just relationships are really the main thing. Yeah. And to really just share about the aspects, intricacies of what relationships are, and really help people build healthy relationships, but also purposeful partnerships. So that, you know, really became the thing for me.
Okay. Okay. Now you say you lived in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So how long did you live in Jamaica?
Yeah, man, no problem. I grew up there. My father's from the West Indies, but I grew up there for about ages 4 to 7, I believe. And my parents were missionaries to the island. So, you know, I was passing out Bible tracts and helping the orphans and feeding people, and you know, the poorest person even in Jamaica is one of the people who act like they're the most blessed. Wow. And a lot of times we're complaining about things here that they're grateful for. So you know, I love my people in the island, for sure.
So that was quite an experience.
Yeah, definitely quite an experience, for sure.
4 to 7 years old, and you came to Michigan?
Well, was born here, moved there for a little bit, came back here. They teased me out of an accent.
So you had a Jamaican accent?
A little Jamaican patois.
Okay.
So, yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Now, back to the relationships. What's your passion behind empowering women? Because a lot of your audience is women, empowering them. Why you pick that?
Well, I was raised by a strong single mother.
Okay.
Who coached me and prayed me through cancer. She'd come off her lunch break, and while I'm in the bed after getting chemo and radiation, checking on me and telling me to take off the pity party hat, I saw her operate as a queen. Wow. And I think if God ever made anything better than a woman, he kept it for himself. I think a woman is the crescendo of creation.
Crescendo. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Notice God never even gave Adam work. He never gave Adam work before he gave him a woman. He gave him work first. Yeah. And everything was in place before the woman came onto the scene.
That's true.
A woman can, you give a woman a house, she'll give you a home. You give her groceries, she's gonna give you a meal. Whatever you put into her hand, she multiplies. Yeah. And so being able to speak life into the lives of those who birth life and bring life into the planet, no nation can rise without its women. Yeah. And so being able to speak life into them and really just empower our queens. But before I ever wrote books to women, the first book I ever wrote to was our brothers, called My Brother's Keeper. Oh, wow. And so writing a book to them, writing a book to our sisters, but then bringing it together in the whole relational dynamic has been empowering, as a writer.
Wow, so, wow. So when did you decide that you wanted to be a writer?
I was forced into writing. I never wanted to write at all. My mother told me that I need to write my story. I was literally in a dorm room at Eastern Michigan University with a doll and a dream to my name in the dorm room. She said, "You need to write your story." I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to tell everybody I had to go through cancer." Yeah. It's not something that you just want to just put out there. It's, I felt very embarrassed about what I had gone through. I was out of school my sophomore year. Tough situation. Yeah. But it was a good suggestion because as I was writing, I was healing. As I was writing, I had to forgive my father. As I was writing, I had to heal from the trauma of going through cancer. Yeah. And just certain things in my life that I had to flip the page, write a new chapter with. And so based upon that, I wrote my first book and I said, I'm only gonna write one. This Mama, this is for you, that's it. And after I wrote one, everybody knocking on your door, calling your phone, when the next one comes. Right. So, I never saw myself doing 12, but life is funny. Yeah. And when you write, you gotta speak about it. Right. So those two, helped to, married the two together. So
what was the name of your first book?
Destined to Overcome. Well, the first name of the first book was Finding the Khanna Cancer, Purposefully Prepared to Persevere. And one of the chapters in my book is called Destined to Overcome the Odds, which came from the first time I ever spoke was in Jamaica. Okay. And I had enough ink in the printer, but it printed out in red. And I said, all right, this must be the fact that the blood is covering the situation because I still had cancer at that time. And so, yeah. Wow. Yeah, so there it is.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, do you feel like relationships are failing because of social media influence?
I think it has something to do with it. I think one thing is that to a certain degree, not only are we exposed, but it could be argued that we're overexposed. We're overexposed, and then now everybody has access to you. Could it possibly be the fact that maybe our grandparents and our predecessors stayed together is because they didn't see so many different people possibly, or had the exposure to all of that? You saw people who were in your region, you saw people who were in your city, so on and so forth. It's good that we can connect, but there's always good and bad on the continuum of life, so to speak. And then I also think as well, you know, in regard to the whole social media aspect, is that so many times, you know, relationships have become so transactional that is not accountable. We start comparing ourselves to other people. What they say is that 70% of people who are posting their photos and ussies and all that stuff on social media are really not happy in their relationship. They're searching for an outside source of them to make them feel content about where they are. So, you know, you see somebody going to Dubai, somebody with a bag, somebody with this, that, and the other. Why don't I have it? You know, so relationships become so transactional, but they really need to be accountable to who it is and where it is that we are in our lives.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Now, do you feel that Black love is important, or are relationships headed in a more different, diverse direction?
You know, when you think about, it's projected that only 1 in 4 Black women will be married. When you look at relationships from 1960s to currently now, in 1960s had the highest rate of Black marriages within the last century, so to speak. I think it is important, without a doubt. However, one of the things that you think about in regard to that is love is not enough. It's got to be purpose driven. You know, love is the thread, purpose is the glue. And I think when, you know, we're creating and building, you know, a nation and building up the next generation, you know, we've got to really identify who it is that we are internally. I think before you ever say I do to somebody else, you got to first say I do to you.
Yeah, that's so true.
You got to say I do to the purpose that God gave you. You know, you can't expect a purpose partner if you have not first partnered with your purpose. So falling in love with what God gave you to do first now puts you on that trajectory to attract who it is that you are.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. And that, and the thing is, beyond a wedding, it's about the marriage. A wedding is a sprint. The marriage is the marathon. And I think so many times we're focused on carrots, but carrots without character is chaotic.
These phrases, you give me, you got to,
It's totally chaotic because I'm not just marrying just for social media and optics. Marrying to break generational cycles. Marrying for putting our generations in a greater place financially, socially, emotionally. You know, destroying these traumas and triggers, things of that nature, and now having a vision for the future. So I think that's important, and it's only going to be molded if it's modeled.
Wow, that's good. Molded if it's modeled. Wow, that's some good information there.
Yes.
So, Dr. Eddie, tell us about your academy. You have Dr. Eddie's Academy.
Yes, you know, I love the Academy. I believe that the revolution not only be televised, it will be on your show.
Okay.
But it'll also be digitized.
Okay.
And, you know, with COVID-19, it put us in a different precarious predicament, but also shifted the paradigm. I really believe if you don't evolve, you won't be involved. And I think one thing is that we had to get to a place. If COVID-19 taught us anything, it's can you touch somebody without touching somebody? Can you be there without being there? Can you literally touch somebody's heart without using your hand? And I created this digital space, this community. I think if there's community that's needed more than ever before, the time is now. And we operate off of a faith model in our digital community where we have weekly seminars, we have our private Facebook group, we have just transparency, truth, and transformation that goes on in there. We operate off of a FIRST model. And FIRST is an acronym for Faith, Identity, Relationships, Speaker Training. And so it's a one house, one-stop shop, holistic development and empowerment for brothers as well as sisters to just come together. And it doesn't just stop there with Faith, Identity, Relationship, Speaker Training. We go into financial stability, leadership, development. economic empowerment, because we need that more than ever before, especially in our community.
Yeah.
And so it's a great place to get together, whether you're in the comfort of your home via computer or phone, and connect, but also network. We got a great amount of gifted leaders in there.
Oh, wow.
Because your network determines your net worth, and you can definitely go there. So
awesome. And you started this during COVID.
I sure did. Yeah.
Wow.
Started during COVID. And you know, I was so used to flying and driving to speaking engagements, this, that, and the other. And I think now I had to create my own platform. And this has been a beautiful experience, for sure.
Yeah. So out of this pandemic, you created a whole new business, a whole new community that's helping change and impact people's lives.
Absolutely.
All around, not just in one area.
Right, all around, and literally not just locally, it's globally. You got individuals from Kenya, from South Africa, from London, from Jamaica, who are all part of our network as well, much less the U.S.
Wow. Congratulations on that.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah. So what's next for you, and where can we find what's next?
Ooh, what's next, I think, is what's now. I've really been doing something as of late, really empowering people who desire to be speakers.
Okay.
I've really been getting into speaker development and training, and I was reticent and hesitant to do it. And, you know, some time ago, and people always ask me, how do you overcome the fear of public speaking? How do you wow your audience? This, that, and the other. How do you, engage? And I think it's something that I've learned to do, and so now I've learned how to teach it.
Okay.
And so I'm doing something. I just did a session the other day called How to Be a Phenomenal Speaker, and right now I'm doing a 4-week session on training individuals on developing the art of communication. I think words are a paintbrush. What picture are you painting when you're speaking? Yeah,
because them words you use today. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. And your words can really empower the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing a 4-week training on something called the Successful Speaker Playbook, where I'm giving you step-by-step tools, principles, showing you what to do, whether you're on Zoom or in a classroom, whether you're at a pastor or a professor, whether you're in the house or with your spouse. You need the whole aspect of the art of communication.
Yeah.
So you listen. As a sister, as a woman, that the man better say the right thing.
Right.
And even and the thing is, he can say the right thing the wrong way. So it's all about an art form, and just really being able to connect with people and encourage them.
Okay. Awesome. So you talk about the art of speaking.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And then tell us about your new book, the latest book you
have. Relationship Rules, because relationship rules, and it's all about how to win at love, leadership, leveraging your purpose, building healthy relationships, purposeful partnerships. And I share about 14 steps, tools, principles, and rules all at the end, but I got a whole lot to say before that. And I start in the book with the first thing is that we have to get our house in order. I heard somebody say, you can't expect a ring if the ring around your tub ain't clean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with first things first.
Right.
Not just focusing on shoes, shirts, and skirts.
Right.
But the house of your heart, your home, your soul, your emotions.
Yeah.
It is all about that, because whoever you are in your singleness will either lead to a marital bless or a marital mess.
Wow. Yeah. Marital bless or marital mess.
That's right.
Good.
That's right.
Okay. So how can people find you on social media, websites, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm a one click away. Just tap in. As I said, the revolution not only be televised, it be digitized. Connect with me. People can do that at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all at Eddie Khanna Jr. Put some respect on my name now.
Okay.
It's EDDIECONNOR JR, and then they can join the academy.
Okay.
DrEddieAcademy.com, as well as be a part of the speaker training. DrEddieAcademy.com/speaker playbook.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Dr. Eddie Khanna, it has been a pleasure to have you on the show today. Congratulations to all the things that you're doing, all your successes, and all the many things that you have coming up as well. You're absolutely a phenomenal man.
Oh, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. You the voice of choice. You wear your crown, and you definitely keep your standards higher than your heels. So
yes.
we love what you do, and thank you for the opportunity.
And the art of your words are very good.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Just leave our guests with some encouraging words before you leave us today.
Yes, you know, the whole aspect of believing in yourself is the blueprint, is the foundation for you to walk in a place of confidence. And the thing is, when you know who you are, people can't tell you what you're not. And matter of fact, those words going in one ear out the other. You got to know who you are. You got to know whose you are. God has created you and gifted you for a purpose. This is your time to believe that you can birth the book, the business, the opportunity, the open door. It's yours. Go for it. Believe in yourself. Make it happen. Peace and love.
Yes, well, thank you once again for joining me on today. And thank you, kings and queens, for watching Believe in Yourself Tuesday. As our guest, the phenomenal Dr. Eddie Khanna, like he said, you have to know whose you are and who created you. You were created for a purpose. You know, all you have to do is really believe. And don't let those setbacks stop you from moving forward in life. In fact, you can use that as your platform, as a testimony to help others and show that you are an overcomer and you are a conqueror, and God created you for destiny. He created you for purpose. Something my mentor, Les Brown, he says, you know, you're created. You are a masterpiece. And why are you a masterpiece? Because a piece of the master is inside of you. So what does that mean? That you are amazing. You are amazing. You have our Father inside of you. You have His DNA in you. So what that means is that everything you need is inside of you. All you have to do is believe in yourself and believe in the one that created you to be. I hope you all have an amazing week.